Shalom. This week's Sedra is a double Sedra, Vayakehl-Pekudie. And I would like to tell you a story about Yitz and his pizza pies in order to help us understand the Sedra a little better. How angry would his wife be with him? That was the foremost thought in Yitz's mind as he strolled through the streets of the old city on his way home back from the Kotel. Yitz had been to the Kotel for his once-a-month visit. Once a month, Yitz would visit the Kotel and simply study that week's Sedra and think about values and priorities. Yitz was walking by the best-smelling pizza store and wanted to bring a few pies home for his family. His wife, always thinking of health first, would not appreciate the pizza as much as his children. As he stood looking at the pies, Yitz began to think back to his study a few minutes before at the Kotel. The Sedra discussed the building of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and focused on the role of women in the collection of materials for the tabernacle. Hashem had told Moshe to record in the Torah that every man whose heart uplifted him came, and everyone whose spirit inspired him to generosity brought the offering of the Lord for the work of the tent of the meeting, for all its service, and for its sacred garments. The men came with the women. Every generous-hearted person brought bracelets and earrings and rings and buckles, all kinds of golden objects, and every man who waved a waving of gold to the Lord. Our scholars noted the phrase, "the men came with the women." They were troubled by the necessity of saying that the men came with the women. In his commentary on this phrase, Rashi took the phrase literally, and he wrote, "The men came with the women and stood near them." The Ibn Ezra took a different approach than Rashi. The Ibn Ezra explained that the phrase "the men came with the women" meant that the men donated to the tabernacle with the women's knowledge and their full-fledged consent. The difference between Rashi and Ibn Ezra's explanation is significant. According to Rashi, the men and the women came together to donate, but the emphasis of the pasuk is to speak about the joint efforts of the men and the women. Yitz understood that the Ibn Ezra understood the emphasis to be on the women's enthusiasm to be part of the donation and the building of the tabernacle. Yitz connected with Ibn Ezra's explanation. He understood that in any national endeavor, it isn't enough to have people acquiesce to the mission, but all people, men and women, must be invested and enthusiastic about the endeavor. The example of this was the women building in the building of the tabernacle. Yitz understood that for something as significant as the tabernacle to something as insignificant as ordering pizza at home, he needed the buy-in of his wife. Shabbat Shalom.